couple of them were down there and they were talking and they felt very, very overwhelmed, and one of the girls thought she was going to pass out. She felt a heaviness in her chest, and I guess just kind of it overwhelmed her.
What I'm picking up right here, a lot of pressure on my chest. Pressure, squeezing, you can't breathe.
Ghosts are there. I know that for a fact.
So what I feel like is there's 3 people over here, like 2 men and a woman, but we're not able to draw them in closer and like get anything more from them. So trying to figure out what it's about, trying to like pull that in a little bit closer.
I'm a believer that paranormal is very possible. I think it's very scientifically possible. I mean, we can't even explain why the human consciousness exists. I mean, you just got this electricity energy in your brain, and it produces something that can think on its own, that has its free will. Who's to say that that energy can't transfer out even past death? When I was a child, I actually lived in a house that had a demonic presence in it. And that's really the only apparition that I can actually say that I've really seen. And it was at the side of the bed pulling the covers. In that same house, it was a rent house down from where my grandfather lived. And I was at my grandfather's house playing one day when I went to go down, and I asked my mother if I could have a snack. And I walked into the house and I asked my mother, I said, "Where are you?" She says, "I'm in here." I said, "Okay, where are you?" "I'm in here." And I asked again a third time, and I got, "I'm in here." And by that time, I had gone through the whole house and realized there was nobody there.
I think when we're first born, we're still so connected that it's just natural, and that society really kind of teaches us that it's not okay or not acceptable, and we begin to lose it the older we get. It was about 5 or 6 years ago, I had an experience, what's considered an awakening. With that experience, a lot of information just started flooding me. And there, of course, there was that time period where you go through thinking, am I crazy? You know, why am I having these thoughts, or is this for real? But as I got a little bit more courage up and would start asking people about the information that I was getting, and finding out that it was true and that it was real, I really started my search.
Did you pick up on somebody?
I have a little boy sitting by Michelle. I don't think he's here for anyone. I think he just wants to be here because he usually sits in the chair behind you kicking. He likes Michelle for some reason, and he's the same little boy. He has brown hair. He's about 6, 7 years old, and he's just sitting right here with his legs folded, like, you know, like they would, just looking at everybody and what's going on.
Ghost hunting was something that my wife got me involved in. It's a social thing for me. I'm skeptic because I'm kind of a meat and potatoes type of guy. If I don't actually see it or feel it or taste it, then it doesn't exist for me. How my skepticism works versus my wife's openness. We're walking down a path, we see a fog. She says, "Look at that apparition." And I say, "It's a fog." It's not really an apparition to me. It's an apparition to her, though. There was an instance that something happened that made me think that maybe I could be a believer. It happened at a cemetery. One of our members uses kind of a dowsing rod type of thing.
Okay, I want to talk to my spirit guides. Can you point to where my spirit guide Paul is?
He's always on your right.
Paul is, but
Your
I've got him.
spirit guide's always on your right.
No, they're not. Am I talking to a man? Yes, I am. Where are you buried? Okay, he's buried over there somewhere.
And I was sitting next to a gravestone. And he came over and he said, hey, there's a apparition next to you. And he took his flashlight and he shined it over on the tombstone, and he said, he asked the question, are you Leroy Leach? Is that who it is? And at the same time he was saying that, it's something in my head said, they call me Eddie. And I asked Scott then, I said, what's his name? And he said, Leroy Edward Leach.
Particular graveyard, there's an entity that we have several times. But with this particular entity, we believe it's non-human. We don't believe it's necessarily demonic, but we do believe it's non-human.
Right now,
I thought I'd caught some growls, but I'm not sure.
and me, Art, and Suzanne have actually had something back here before. We've never found anything there, but paranormal.
We also caught an EVP of it that same night, where one of our members kind of got up on the hill and was kind of, in a way, his presence was kind of challenging it. And so we actually caught an EVP of this thing telling us, give in to me.
I'd back away from that hill if I were you.
I believe it's very possible. Do I really understand that? No. And that's one of the things that I'm looking for.
I wanted to get to the bottom of it and find out why this happens. Why do people not cross over after they die?
Thing is, with people alive, you got all kinds. And, you know, same thing in the spirit world.
A lot of times they come through to us over here because so many of us question, you know, what else is there, you know, and once they cross and they begin to experience that other side, they want their loved ones here to know, you know, hey, there's so much more.